yet of Hamlet, our dear brother's death, the memory be green, and that it us befitted to bear our hearts with grief and our whole kingdom to be contracted in one brow of woe. Yet so far hath discretion fought with nature, that we with wisest sorrow think on him, together with remembrance of ourselves, therefore our sometime sister, now our queen, the imperial jointress to this warlike state, have we, as 'twere, with defeated joy and with an auspicious and a dropping eye, with mirth in funeral and with dirge in marriage, in equal scale weighing delight and dole, taken to wife, nor have we herein barred your better wisdoms, which have freely gone with this affair along. For all, our thanks. Now follows that you know young Fortinbras, holding a weak supposal of our worth, all thinking by our late dear brother's death, our state to be disjointed and out of frame, colleagued with the dream of his advantage, he hath not failed to pester us with message, importing the surrender of these lands lost by his father with all the bonds of law to our most valiant brother. So much for him. Now for ourself, and for this time of meeting. Thus much the business is. We have here writ to Norway, uncle of young Fortinbras, who, impotent and bedrid, scarcely hears of this our nephew's purpose, to suppress his further gate herein, in that the levies, the lists, and full proportions are all made out of his subject. And we here dispatch you, good Cornelius, and you, Voltemand, for bearers of this greeting to old Norway, giving to you no further personal power to business with the king, more than the scope of the dilated articles allow. Farewell, and let your haste commend your duty.
In that and all things will we show our duty.
In that and all things will we show our duty.
We doubted nothing. Heartily, farewell. And now, Laertes, what's the news with you? You told us of some suit. What is't, Laertes? You cannot speak of reason to the Dane? And loose your voice. What wouldst thou beg, Laertes? That shall not be my offer, nor my asking. The head is not more native to the heart, the hands nor instrumental to the mouth, than is the throne of Denmark to thy father. What wouldst thou have, Laertes?
My dread lord, believe and favour to return to France, from whence, though willingly I came to Denmark to show my duty in your coronation, yet now I must confess that duty done, my thoughts and wishes bend toward France again, and bow them to your gracious leave and pardon.
Have you your father's leave? What says Polonius?
He hath, my lord, wrung from me my slow leave, by labis and petition, and at last upon his will I sealed my hard consent. I do beseech you, give him leave to go.
Take thy fair hour, Laertes, time be thine, and thy best graces spend it at thy will. But now, my cousin Hamlet, and my son.
More than kin and less than kind.
How is it that the clouds still hang with you?
Not so, my lord. I am too much in the sun.
Oh, good Hamlet, cast thy nighted colour off, and let thine eye look like a friend on Denmark. Do not forever with thy veiled lids seek for thy noble father in the dust. Thou know'st 'tis common, all that lives must die, passing through nature to eternity.
Aye, madam, it is common.
If it be, why seems it so particular with thee?
Seems, madam. Nay, it is. I know not. Seems. 'Tis not alone my inky cloak, good mother, nor customary suits of solemn black, nor the fruitful river in the eye, nor the dejected behaviour of the visage, together with all forms, moods, shapes of grief that denote me truly. These, indeed, seem, for they are the actions that a man might play, but I have within that which passeth slow. but these but the trappings and the suits of war.
'Tis sweet and commendable in your nature, Hamlet, to give these mourning duties to your father. But you must know, your father lost a father, that father lost his, and the survivor bound in filial obligations for some term to do obsequious sorrow. But to persevere in obstinate condolement is a course of impious stubbornness. 'Tis unmanly grief. It shows a will most incorrect to heaven, a heart unfortified, a mind impatient, an understanding simple and unschooled. What we know must be, and is as common as any the most vulgar thing to sense. Why should we, in our peevish opposition, take it to the heart? Fie, 'tis a fault to the heaven, a fault against the deed, a fault against the dead, a fault to nature, to reason most absurd, whose common theme is death of fathers, and who still hath cried from the first course till that he died today, this must be so. We pray you, throw to earth this unprevailing woe, and think of us as of a father. For let the world take note, you are the most immediate to our throne, and with no less nobility of love than that which dearest father bears his son. Do I impart toward you, for your intent in going back to school in Wittenberg, it is most retrograde to our desire, and we beseech you, bend you to remain here in the cheer and comfort of our eye, our chiefest courtier, cousin, and our son.
I pray thee, let not thy mother lose her prayers, Hamlet. I pray they stay with us. Go not to Wittenberg.
I shall, in all my best, obey you, madam.
Why, that's a loving and a fair reply. Be as ourself in Denmark. Madam, come. This gentle and unforced accord of Hamlet sits smiling to my heart, in grace whereof no jocund health that Denmark drinks today. But the great cannon to the clouds shall tell, and the kings rouse, and the heavens all brew it again, re-speaking earthly thunder. Come away.
Oh, that this too solid flesh would melt, thaw and resolve into a Jew, or that the everlasting had not fixed his cannon against self-slaughter. Oh God, how weary, stale, flat, and unprofitable seems to me all the uses of this world. Fie, 'tis an unweeded garden that grows to seed. Things rank and gross in nature possess it merely that it should come to this. But 2 months dead, nay, not so much, not 2, so excellent a king that was to this Hyperion to a satyr, so loving to my mother that he might not between the winds of heaven visit her face too roughly. Heaven and earth, must I remember why she would hang on him, as if the increase of appetite had grown by what it fed on, and yet within a month, let me not think on it. Frailty, thy name is woman. A little month, or ere those shoes were old with which she followed my forefather's body. Like Niobe, all tears, why she, even she, would have mourned longer. Married with my uncle, my father's brother. No more like my father than I to Hercules. Within a month. Ere yet the salt of most unrighteous tears he had left a flushing in her gold eyes, she married. Oh, most wicked speed to post with such dexterity into incestuous sheets. It is not nor cannot come to good. But break my heart, for I must hold my tongue.
Hail to your lordship.
I am glad to see you well, Horatio, or I do forget myself.
The same, my lord, and your poor servant ever.
Sir, good my friend. I'll change that name with you. And what make you from Wittenberg, Horatio? Marcellus?
My good lord.
I'm very glad to see you. Good evening, sir. But what in faith make you from Wittenberg?
A truant disposition, good my lord.
I would not hear your enemies say so, nor you do mine own ear that violence to make it truster than your own report against yourself. I know you aren't a truant. But what is your affair in Elsinore? We'll teach you to drink deep ere you depart.
My lord, I came to see your father's funeral.
I pray you do mock me, fellow student. I think it was to see my mother's wedding.
Indeed, my lord, it followed hard upon.
Thrift, Horatio. The funeral-baked mates did coldly furnish forth the marriage tables. Would I had met my dearest foe in heaven or ever seen that day, Horatio? My father, methinks I see my father.
Where, my lord?
In my mind's eye, Horatio.
I saw him once. He was a goodly king.
Ah, he was a man. Take him for that and all. I shall not look upon his like again.
My lord, I think I saw him yesternight.
Saw who?
My lord, the king, your father.
The king, my father.
Season your admiration for a while with an attent ear till I may deliver upon the witness of these gentlemen this marvel to you.
For God's love, let me hear it.
2 nights together had these gentlemen, Marcellus and BERNADO, on their watch in the dead vast and middle of the night, been thus encountered a figure like your father, armed at point exactly, cap a pie, appears before them, and with solemn march goes slowly and stately by them. Thrice he walked by their oppressed and fear-surprised eyes, with his truncheon's length, whilst they, distilled almost to jelly with the act of fear, stand down and speak not to him. This to me in dreadful secrecy impart they did. And I, with them, the 3rd night kept the watch, whereas they had delivered both in time, form of the thing, each word made true and good. The apparition comes. I knew your father. These hands are not more like.
Where was this?
My lord, upon the platform where we watched.
Did you not speak to it?
My lord, I did, but answer made it none. Yet once methought it lifted up its head and did address itself to motion, like as it would speak. But even then the morning cock crew loud, and at the sound it shrunk in haste away and vanished from our sight.
It's very strange.
As I do live, my honoured lord, 'tis true. And we did think it writ down in our duty to let you know of it.
Indeed, sirs, but this troubles me. Hold you the watch tonight?
We do, my lord.
Armed, say you?
Armed, my lord.
From top to toe?
My lord, from head to foot.
Then saw you not his face?
Oh, yes, my lord, he wore his beaver up.
What, looked he frowningly?
A countenance more in sorrow than in anger.
Pale or red?
Oh, nay, very pale.
And fixed his eyes upon you?
Most constantly.
I would that I had been there.
It would have amazed you.
Very like. Stayed it long?
While one with moderate haste might tell 100.
Longer.
Not when I saw it.
It was grizzled, no?
It was, as I have seen it in his life, a sable silvered.
I will watch tonight. Perchance 'twill walk again.
I warrant it will.
If it assumes my noble father's person, I'll speak to it, though hell itself should gape and bid me hold my peace. I pray you all, if you have hitherto concealed this sight, let it be tenable in your silence still. And whatsoever shall hap tonight, give it an understanding, but no tongue. I will requite your love. So fare you well. Upon the platform, twixt 11 and 12, I'll visit you.
My lord.
My lord. Our duty to your honour.
your loves as mine to yours. Farewell. My father's spirit in arms. All is not well. I doubt some foul play. Would the night were come. Till then sit still, my soul. Foul deeds will rise, though all the earth to overwhelm them to men's eyes. What hour now?
I think it lacks of 12.
No, it is struck.
Indeed? Oh, I heard it not. Then it draws near the season wherein the spirit held his wont to walk. What does this mean, my lord?
The king doth wake tonight and takes his rouse, keeps for sail, and is swaggering up spring reels. And as he drains his draughts of Rhenish down, the kettle drum and trumpet thus bray out the triumph of his pledge.
Is it a custom?
Aye, marry, ist. But to my mind, though I am native here, and to the manner born, it is a custom more honoured in breach than in the observant. This heavy-handed revel east and west makes us trudents and taxed other nations. They clep us drunkards, and with swinish phrase soil our addition. And indeed, it takes from our achievements, though performed at height, the pith and marrow of our attribute, so oft it chances in particular men, for that some vicious moles of nature in them, as in their birth, wherein they are not guilty, since nature cannot choose its origin, by the overgrowth of some complexion, or oft breaking down the pales and forts of reason, or by some habit that too much o'erleavens a form of plausive manners, that these men, carrying, as I say, the stamp of one defect, being nature's livery or fortune's star, their virtues else be pure as grace, as infinite as man may undergo, shall in the general censure take corruption from that particular fault. The dram of ale doth all the noble substance of a doubt to his own scandal.
My lord, look. My lord, it comes.
Angels and ministers of grace defend us. Be thou spirit of health, or goblin damned. Bring with thee thy heirs from heaven, or blast from hell. Be thy intents wicked or charitable. Thou comest in such questionable shape that I will speak to thee. I'll call thee Hamlet. King, father, royal Thane, oh, answer me. Let me not burst in ignorance, but tell me why thy canonized bones, hearsed in death, have burst their cerements. Why the sepulchre, wherein we saw thee inurned, hath upped his ponderous and marble jaws to cast thee up again. What may this mean, that thou, dead corpse again in complete steel, revisitest thus the glimpses of the moon, making night hideous, and we fools of nature so horridly shake our disposition with thoughts beyond the reaches of our souls? Say, why is this? Wherefore? What should we do?
It beckons you to go away with it, as if it some impartment it desired to you alone.
Look with what courteous action it waves you to a more removed ground, but do not go with it.
No, by no means.
Will not speak, then I will follow it.
Do not, my lord.
Why, what should be in the fear? I do set my life in a pin's fee, and for my soul, what can it do to that, being a thing immortal as itself? It waves me forth, I'll follow it.
What if it tempt you toward the flood, my lord, or to the dreadful summit of the cliff that beetles over his base into the sea, and there assumes some other horrible form, which might deprive your sovereignty of reason and draw you into madness? Think of it. The very place puts toys of desperation without more motive into every brain that looks so many fathoms to the sea, and hear it roar beneath.
It waves me still. Go on. I'll follow thee.
You shall not go, my lord.
Hold off your hands.
Be ruled, you shall not go.
My fate cries out. It makes each petty artery in this body as hardy as the Nenian's lion's nerve. Still I am called. Unhand me. Gentlemen, By heaven, I'll make a ghost of him that lets me. I say, away, go on, I'll follow thee. Where willst thou lead me? Speak, I'll go no further.
Mark me.
Will?
My hour is almost come, when I to sulphurous and tormenting flames must render up myself.
Poor ghost.
Pity me not. Lend thy serious hearing to what I shall unfold.
Speak, I am bound to hear.
So art thou to revenge when thou shalt hear.
What?
I am thy father's spirit, doomed for a certain term to walk the night, and for the day confined to fast in fires, till the foul crimes done in my days of nature are burnt and purged away. But that I am forbid to tell the secrets of my prison house, I could a tale unfold, whose lightest word would harrow up thy soul, freeze thy young blood, make thy two eyes like stars start from their spheres, thy knotted and combined locks to part, and each particular hair to stand on end like quills upon the fretful porpentine. But this eternal blazon must not be to ears of flesh and blood. List, oh, list. If thou didst ever thy dear father love,
oh God,
revenge his foul and most unnatural murder.
Murder.
Murder most foul, as in the best it is, but this most foul, strange, and unnatural.
Haste me to know it, that I with wings as swift as meditation of the thoughts of love may sweep to my revenge.
Oh, I find thee apt. And duller shouldst thou be than the fat weed that roots itself in ease on Lethe wharf, wouldst thou not stir in this. Now, Hamlet, here. 'Tis given out that sleeping in my orchard a serpent stung me. So the whole ear of Denmark is by a forged process of my death rankly abused. But no, thou noble youth, the serpent that did sting thy father's life, now wears his crown.
Oh, my prophetic soul, my uncle.
I, that incestuous, that adulterate beast, with witchcraft of his wit, with traitorous gifts, oh, wicked wit and gifts, that have the power so to seduce one to his shameful lust, the will of my most seeming virtuous queen. Oh, Hamlet, what a falling off was there from me, whose love was of that dignity that it went hand in hand even with the vow I made to her in marriage, and to decline upon a wretch whose natural gifts were poor to those of mine. But virtue as it never will be moved, though lewdness caught it in a shape of heaven, so lust, though to a radiant angel linked, will sate itself in a celestial bed and prey on garbage. But soft, methinks I scent the morning air. Brief let me be. Sleeping within my orchard, my custom always of the afternoon, upon my secure hour thy uncle stole with juice of cursed Hebanon in a vial, and in the porches of my ears did pour the leprous distilment, whose effect holds such an enmity with blood of man that swift as quicksilver it courses through the natural gates and alleys of the body, and with a sudden vigor doth posset and curd, like eager droppings into milk, the thin and wholesome blood, so did it mine. And a most instant tetterbarked about, most lazar-like, with vile and loathsome crust all my smooth body. Thus was I, sleeping by a brother's hand of life of crown of queen, at once dispatched, cut off, even in the blossoms of my sin, unhouselled, disappointed, unannealed, no reckoning made, but sent to my account with all my imperfections on my head. Oh, horrible! Oh, horrible, most horrible! If thou hast nature in thee, bear it not. Let not the royal bed of Denmark be a couch for luxury and damned incest. But howsoever thou pursuest this act, taint not thy mind, nor let thy soul contrive against thy mother aught. Leave her to heaven, and to those thorns that in her bosom lodge, to prick and sting her. Fare thee well at once. The glowworm shows the matin to be near, and begins to pale his uneffectual fire. Adieu. Adieu, Hamlet. Remember me.
Oh, you host of heaven. Oh, earth. What else? And shall I couple hell? Oh, fire. Hold my heart. And you, my sinews, groan on instant all, but bear me up stiffly. Remember thee. Hi, thou poor ghost, while memory holds a seat in this distracted globe. Remember thee. Yea, and from the table of my memory I'll wipe away all trivial, fond records, all stores of books, all forms, all precious past that youth and observation copied there, and thy commandment alone shall live within the book and volume of my brain, unmixed with baser matter. Yes, by heaven. Oh, those pernicious woman. Oh, villain, villain, damned smiling villain, my tables. Meet it as I sit down, that one may smile and be a villain. I am sure it may be so in Denmark, so, uncle, there you are now, to my word. It is adieu, adieu, remember me. I have sworn it.
My lord.
My lord.
Lord Hamlet.
Heaven, secure him.
So be it.
Hillo, ho, ho, my lord.
Hillo, ho, ho, boy, come. Come down.
How is it, my noble lord?
What news, my lord?
Oh, wonderful.
Good, my lord, tell it.
No, you reveal it.
Not I. My lord, by heaven.
Nor I, my lord.
How you say, then, would heart of man once think, but you be secret?
Aye, by heaven, my lord.
Well, there's ne'er a villain dwelling in old Denmark, but he's an arrant knave.
There needs no ghost, my lord, come from the grave to tell us this.
Aye, right, you are in the right, and so without more circumstance, all, I hold it fit that we shake hands and part, for you as your business, and desire shall point you, for every man has business and desire, such as it is, and for mine own poor part, look you, I'll go pray.
These are but wild and whirling words, my lord.
Sorry that they offend you heartily. Yes, faith, heartily.
There's no offence, my lord.
Yes, but by St. Patrick, but there is, Horatio, and much offence too. Touching this vision here, it is an honest ghost that, let me tell you, for your desire to know what is between us, our master, as you say. And now, good friends, as you are friends, scholars and soldiers, give me one poor request.
What is it, my lord? We will.
Never make known what you have seen here tonight.
My lord, we will not.
Nay, but swear it.
In faith, my lord, not I.
Faith.
No, I, my lord, in faith.
Upon my sword.
We have sworn, my lord, already.
Indeed, upon my sword, indeed.
Swear.
Boy! Say thou so! Art thou there, true penny? Come on. You heard this fellow in the cellarage consent to swear.
Propose the oath, my lord.
Never to speak of what you have seen. Swear by my sword.
Swear!
Hic et ubique. Then we'll shift our ground. Come hither, gentlemen, and lay your hands upon my sword. Never to speak of this that you have heard. Swear by my sword.
Swear!
Well said, old mole. Canst thou work in the earth so fast? A worthy pioneer. Once removed, good friends.
Oh, day and night, but this is wondrous strange.
And therefore, as a stranger, give it welcome. There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy. But come, here, as before, never so help you mercy, how strange or odd soe'er I bear myself, as I perchance hereafter shall meet to put an antic disposition on. That you, seeing at such time seeing me, never shall, with arms encumbered thus, or this head shake, or by pronouncing of some doubtful phrase as well, we know, or we could, and if we would, or if we list to speak, or be there, and if they might, or such ambiguous giving out to note that you know aught of me, this do not. So grace and mercy at your most need help you. Swear.
Swear!
Rest! Rest, perturbed spirit.
I swear.
I swear.
I swear.
So, gentlemen, with all my love, I do commend me to you, and what so poor a man as Hamlet is may do, express his love and friendly to you, God willing, shall not lack. Let us go in together, and stir your fingers on your lips, I pray. The time is out of joint. Oh, cursed spite, that ever I was born to set it right. Nay, come, let's go together.
Farm and carters.
We will try it.
Oh, but look, where sadly the poor wretch comes, reading.
Away, I do beseech you. I'll board him presently. I'll give me leave. How does my good Lord Hamlet?
Well, God mercy.
Do you know me, my lord?
Aye, sir, you are a fishmonger.
No, not I, my lord.
Oh, would thou were so honest a man.
Honest, my lord?
Aye, sir. To be honest, as this world goes, is to be one man picked out of 10,000.
This is very true, my lord.
For the sun breeds maggots, and a dead dog, being God-kissing carrion. Have you a daughter?
I have, my lord.
Let her not walk in the sun. Conception is a blessing, but not as your daughter may conceive. Friend, look to it.
How say you by that? Still harping on my daughter, yet he knew me not at first. He said I was a fishmonger. He's far gone, far gone. And truly in my youth I suffered much extremity for love very near to this. I'll speak to him again. What do you read, my lord?
Words.
Well, what is the matter, my lord?
Between who?
I mean, the matter that you read, my lord.
Oh, slander, sir. For the satirical rogue says here that old men have grey beards, that their faces are wrinkled, their eyes purging thick black amber and plum tree gum, and that they have plentiful lack of wit, together with most weak hams. All which, sir, though I most powerfully and potently believe, yet I hold it not honesty to have it thus set down. For yourself, sir, should be as old as I am, and if like a crab you could go backwards.
Though this be madness, yet there be method in it. Will you walk out of the air, my lord?
Into my grave?
Indeed, that is out of the air. My honourable lord, I will most humbly take my leave of you.
Well, you cannot, sir, take from me anything that I will not. I will more willingly part with all. Except my life. Except my life.
Fare you well, my lord.
Accept my life. These tedious old fools!
You seek the Lord Hamlet. There he is.
God save you, sir.
My honoured lord.
My most dear lord!
My excellent good friends, how dost thou, Guildenstern? Ah, Rosencrantz. Good lads, how do ye both?
As the indifferent children of the earth?
Happy in that we are not over happy. On Fortune's cap we are not the very button.
Nor the soles of her shoes.
Neither, my lord.
Well, then you live about her waist or in the middle of her favours, hey?
Faith, her privates we.
Secret parts of Fortune? Oh, most true. She is a true, but what's the news?
Ah, none, my lord, but that the world's grown honest.
Doomsday is near. But your news is not true. Let me question you more in particular. What have you, my good friends, deserved at the hands of Fortune that sends you to prison hither?
Prison, my lord.
Denmark's a prison.
Then is the world one?
A goodly one, in which there are many confines, wards, and dungeons, Denmark being one of the worst.
Oh, we think not so, my lord.
Why, then, 'tis none to you, for there is nothing, either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. To me, it is a prison.
Why, then, your ambition makes it one. 'Tis too narrow for your mind.
Oh, God. I could be banded in a nutshell and still count myself king of infinite space, were it not that I have bad dreams.
Which dreams indeed are ambition, for the very substance of the ambitious is merely the shadow of a dream.
Your dream itself is but a shadow.
Oh, truly, and I hold ambition of so airy and light a quality that it is but a shadow.
Then are our beggars' bodies, and our monarchs and outstretched heroes the beggars' shadows. Shall we to the court? For by my faith, I cannot reason.
We'll wait upon you.
No such matter. I would not sort you with the rest of my servants, for to speak to you like an honest man, I am most dreadfully attended. But in the beaten way of friendship, what makes you an Elsinore?
To visit you, my lord, no other occasion.
Beggar that I am even poor in thanks, but I thank you, and sure, dear friends. My thanks are too dear a halfpenny. Were you not sent for? Is it your own inclining? Is it a free visitation? Come, deal with me justly. Come, nay, speak.
What should we say, my lord?
Why, anything but to the purpose. You were sent for, and there is kind confession in your looks which your modesties have not craft enough to colour. I know the good king and queen hath sent for you.
To what end, my lord?
That you must teach me? Well, let me conjure you, by rights of our fellowship, by the constancy of our youth, by the obligation of our ever-preserved love, and by what more dear a better proposal could charge you withal, be even and direct with me. And were you sent for or no?
What say you?
Nay then, I have eye of you. If you love me, hold not off.
My lord, we were sent for.
Well, I'll tell you why. And so shall my anticipation prevent your discovery. And your secrecy to the king and queen moult no feather. I have of late, and wherefore I know not, lost all my mirth. And indeed, it goes so heavily with my disposition that this goodly frame, the earth, seems to me a sterile granary. This most excellent canopy, the air, seems to me this brave overhanging firmament, this majestical roof fretted with golden fire. Why, it appears to me no other thing than a foul and pestilent congregation of vapors. Oh, what a piece of work is man. how noble in reason, how infinite in faculty, in form and moving, how express and admirable, in action, how like an angel, in apprehension, how like a god. The beauty of the world, the paragon of animals. And yet, to me, what is this quintessence of dust? Man delights me not.
Ooh.
Nor woman neither. Though by your smiling you seem to say so.
My lord, there was no such stuff in my thoughts.
Why did you laugh then when I said man delights me not?
To think, my lord, if you delight not in man, what Lenten entertainment the players shall receive from you. We quoted them on the way, and hither are they coming to offer your service.
He that plays a king shall be welcome. His majesty shall have tribute of me. The adventurous knight shall use his foil and target. The lover shall not sigh gratis. The humorous man shall end his part in peace. The clown shall make those laugh whose lungs are tickled over the seer. And the lady shall say her mind freely, or the blank verse shall hold for it. What players are they?
Even those who want to take delight in, my lord, the tragedians of the city.
How chances it they travel? Their residence, both in reputation and profit, was better both ways.
I think their inhibition comes by the means of the late innovation.
Do they hold the same estimation they did when I was in the city? Are they so followed?
No, indeed, they are not.
How comes it? Do they go rusty?
Nay, their endeavour keeps in the wonted pace, but there is, sir, an aerie of children, little yeses that cry out on the top of question and most tyrannically clapped for it. These are now the fashion, and so berattle the common stagers, so they call them, that many wearing rapiers are afraid of goose quills and dare scarce come thither.
What? Are they children? Who maintains them? How are they escorted? Will they pursue the quality no longer than they can sing? Will they not say afterwards, if they should grow themselves to common players, as it most like, if their means are no better, their writers do them wrong, to make them exclaim against their own succession?
Faith, there has been much to do on both sides, and the nation holds it no sin to tarry them to controversy. There was, for a while, no money had for argument, unless the poet and the player went to cuffs in the question.
Is it possible?
Oh, there has been much throwing about of brains.
Do the boys carry it away?
Aye, that they do, my lord. Hercules and his load too.
It's not very strange, for my uncle is king of Denmark, and those that would make mouths at him while my father lived give 20, 40, 50, and 100 ducats apiece for his picture in little. His blood, there's something in this more than natural, if philosophy could find out.
What? There are the players.
Gentlemen, you are welcome to Elsinore. Your hands. Come then. The appurtenance of welcome is fashion and ceremony. Let me comply you in this garb that my extent to the players, which I tell you must show fairly outward. Should you more appear like entertainment than yours, you are welcome. But my uncle, father, and aunt mother are deceived.
In what, my dear lord?
I am but mad north-northwest. When the wind is southerly, I know a hawk from a handsaw.
We'll be with you, gentlemen.
Hark you, Guildenstern, and you too, each a hero. That great baby you see there is not yet out of his swaddling clouts.
Happily, he's the second time come to them, for they say an old man is twice a child.
Oh, prophecy, he comes to tell me of the players. Mark it. You say right, sir. Monday morning. 'Twas so indeed.
My lord, I have news to tell you.
My lord, I have news to tell you. When Marcellus was an actor in Rome...
Well, the actors are come hither, my lord. Upon mine honour...
and keep each actor on his ass.
The best actors in the world, either for tragedy, comedy, history, pastoral, pastoral comical, historical, pastoral, Tragical, historical, tragical, comical, historical, pastoral. Scene individable or poem unlimited. Seneca cannot be too heavy nor Platus too light. For the law of writ and the liberty, these are the only men.
Oh, Jephthah, judge of Israel, what treasure hadst thou?
What a treasure had he, my lord?
Why, one fair daughter and no more, in which you loving passing well.
Still on my daughter.
Am I not in the right, old Jephthah?
If you call me Jephthah, my lord, I have a daughter that I love, passing well.
Nay, that follows not.
What follows then, my lord?
Why, as by lot, God wot, and then came, it came to pass, as most like it was, the first rose of the pious Jansen will come show you more, for look where my abridgment comes. You are welcome, masters. Welcome all. I'm glad to see thee well. Welcome, good friends. Oh, my old friend, thy face has valanced since I saw thee last. Comest thou beard me in Denmark? What, my young lady and mistress? By your ladyship is nearer to heaven than when I saw you last, by the altitude of a Chopin. Pray God, your voice, like a piece of uncurrent gold, be not cracked within the ring. Masters, you are welcome. We'll e'en to the like French falconers fly at anything we see. We'll have a speech straight. Come, give us a taste of your quality. Come, a passionate speech.
What speech, my lord?
I heard thee speak a speech me once, but it was never acted, or if it was, not above once for the play. I remember, please not the million, 'twas caveat to the general, but it was, as I received it, and others whose judgment in such matters cried from the top of mine, an excellent play. Well digested in the scene, set down as much in modesty as cunning. I remember one said there were no sales in the line to make the matter indict the author of affectation, but called it an honest method, as wholesome as sweet, and by very much more handsome than fine. One speech in it I chiefly loved was Aeneas's tale to Dido, and thereabout of it, especially where he speaks of Priam's daughter. If it live in your memory, begin at this line. Let me see. The rugged Pyrrhus, the Hyrcanian beast. It is not so. It begins with Pyrrhus? Pyrrhus. The rugged Pyrrhus, on whose sable arms black as purpose did the knight resemble when he couched in the ominous horse, hath now this dread and black complexion smeared with heraldry more dismal, head to foot. Now he his total jewels, horridly tricked with blood of fathers, mothers, daughters, sons, baked and impasted on the parching streets, that lend tyrannous and damned light to their lord's murder, roasted in wrath and fire, and thus oversized with coagulant gore, with eyes like carbuncles, the hellish Pyrrhus, old grandsire Priam seeks. So, proceed you.
For God, my lord, well spoken, with good accent and good discretion.
Anon he finds him striking too short at Greeks. His antique sword, rebellious to his arm, lies where it falls, repugnant to command. Unequal matched, Pyrrhus at Priam drives. Enraged, strikes wide, but with the whip and wind of his fell sword, the unnerved father falls. Then, senseless Ilium, seeming to feel this blow, with flaming top, stoops to his base, and with a hideous crash takes prisoner Pyrrhus' ear. For lo, his sword, which was declining on the milky head of Reverend Priam, seemed in the air to stick. So, as a painted tyrant, Pyrrhus stood, and like a neutral to his will and matter did nothing. But, as we often see, 'gainst some storm, a silence in the heavens, the rack stands still, the bold winds speechless, and the orb below as hush as death, and on the dreadful thunder doth rend the region. So after Pyrrhus' pause, aroused vengeance sets him anew a work, and never did the Cyclops' hammer fall on Mars's armor, forged for proof return, with less remorse than Pyrrhus' bleeding sword now falls on Priam. Out! Out, thou strumpet, Fortune! All you gods in general synod, take away her power, break all the spokes and fellies from her wheel, and bow the round nave down the hill of heaven as long as to the fiends.
This is too long.
Shout to the barbers. With your beard, really. Say on, he's for a jig or a tale of bawdry, or he sleeps. Say on, come to Hecuba.
But who had seen the mobled queen?
Mobled queen?
That's good. Mobled queen is good.
Run barefoot up and down, threatening the flames with bisonrium, a clout upon that head where the diadem stood, and for a robe about her lank and all o'er teemed loins, a blanket in the alarm of fear caught up, who this had seen with tongue in venom steep, 'gainst fortune's state would treason have pronounced. But if the gods themselves did see her, then when she saw Pyrrhus make malicious sport in mincing with his sword her husband's limbs, the instant burst of clamour that she made, unless mortal move them not at all, would have made milch the burning eyes of heaven and passion in the gods.
Look whether he has not turned his colour and has tears in his eyes. I pray you, no more.
Well, I'll have thee speak the rest out soon. Good my lord, wilt you see the players well bestowed? Do you hear? Let them be well used, for they are abstract and brief chronicles of the time. After your death, you would better have a bad epitaph than an ill report while you live.
My lord, I will use them according to their desert.
God's body kins, man. Much better. Use every man after his desert. And who should escape whipping. Use them after your own honour and dignity. The less they deserve, the more merit in your bounty. Take them in.
Come, sirs.
Bowman, friends, we'll hear a play tomorrow. Dost thou hear me, old friend? Can you play the murder of Gonzaga?
Aye, my lord.
We'll hat tomorrow night. Could you, for an aid, study a speech of some dozen or 16 lines, which I would set down and insert in it? Could you not?
Aye, my lord.
Very well. Follow that, lord, and look you mock him not. Huh? My good friends, I'll leave you till tonight. You are welcome in also.
Good, my lord.
Aye, so God be with you. Now I am alone. What a rogue and peasant slave am I. Is it not monstrous that this player here in but a fiction, in a dream of passion, could force his soul to his own conceit? That from her working all his visage waned, tears in his eyes, distraction in his aspect, a broken voice, and his whole function suiting with forms of his conceit, and all for nothing. For Hecuba! What's Hecuba to him, or he to Hecuba, that he should weep for her? What would he do? He had the motive and the cue for passion that I have. And he would drown the stage with tears and cleave the general ear with horrid speech. Make mad the guilty and appall the free. Confound the ignorant and amaze, indeed, the very faculties of ears and eyes. Yet I, a dull and muddy-metaled rascal peak like John o'Dreams, unpregnant of my cause, and can say nothing, not for a king upon whose property and most dear life a damned defeat was made. Am I a coward? Who calls me a villain? Breaks my painted cross, plucks off my beard and blows it in my face, tweaks me by the nose. gives me lie in the throat as deep as the lungs. Who does me this? Zounds, I should take it, for it cannot be. I am pigeon-livered and lack gall to make oppression bitter or air. I should have fatted all the region kites with his slaves' offal. Bloody, bawdy villain, remorseless, treacherous, lecherous, kindless villain. Oh, vengeance. Oh, what an ass am I? This is most brave that I, the son of dear father murdered, prompted to my revenge by heaven and hell, must, like a whore, unpack my heart with words and fall cursing like a merry drab, a scullion. Fight all about my brain. I have heard that guilty creatures sitting at play have, by the very cunning of a scene, being so struck by the soul that presently they have proclaimed their malefactions for murder, though it have no tongue, will speak this most miraculous organ. I'll have these players play something like the murder of my father before my uncle. I'll observe his looks, I'll tempt him to the quick, but if he blench, I'll know my course. The spirit I have seen may be the devil. The devil hath power to assume a pleasing shape, yea, and perhaps out of my meekness and my melancholy, as if he is very potent with such spirits, abuses me to damn me. I'll have grounds more relative than this. The play's the thing wherein I'll catch the conscience of the king. To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether it is nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or take arms against a sea of troubles and by opposing, end them, to die, to sleep no more, and by sleep to say we end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished, to die, to sleep perchance to dream. Aye, that's the rub. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long a life. Who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of despised love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, and the spurns that patient merit of the unworthy takes, when he himself might his quietest make with a bare bodkin? Who would fathers bear to grunt and sweat under a weary life? But the dread of something after death, the undiscovered countries from whose bourne no traveller returns, puzzles the will, and makes us bear those ills we have, then fly of others we know not of. Thus conscience makes cowards of us all, and thus the native hue of revolution is sickled o'er with the pale cost of thought, and enterprises a great pith and moment. With this regard, their currents turn away and lose the name of action. Sophie now, the fair Ophelia, oh nymph, in thy orisons be all my sins remembered.
Good my lord, how does your honour for this many a day?
I humbly thank you. Well.
My lord, I have remembrances of yours that I have longed to redeliver. I pray you now receive them?
No, not I. I never gave you aught.
My honoured lord, you know right well you did, and with them words so sweet, breath composed, as made the things more rich, their perfume lost. Oh, take these again, for to the noble mind rich gifts wax poor when givers prove unkind. There, my lord.
Are you honest?
My lord?
Are you fair?
What means your lordship?
That if you be honest and fair, your honesty should admit no discourse to your beauty.
Would beauty, my lord, have better commerce than with honesty?
Aye, truly, for the power of beauty will sooner transform honesty from what is bored to the force of honesty can transmute beauty into his likeness. This was sometimes a paradox, but the time gives proof. I did love you once.
Indeed, my lord. You made me believe so.
You should not have believed me. The virtue itself cannot inoculate our old stock, but we shall relish of it. I loved you not.
I was the more deceived.
Get thee to a nunnery. Why wouldst thou be a breeder of sinners? I am myself indifferent, honest, but yet I could accuse me of such things that were better my mother had not borne me. I am very proud, revengeful, ambitious, with more offences at my beck than I have thoughts to put them in, imagination to give them shape, or time to act them in. What should such fellows as I do crawling between heaven and earth? We are arrant knaves all. Believe none of us. Go thy ways to a nunnery. Where's your father?
At home, my lord.
Let the doors be shut upon him, that he may play the fool nowhere but in his own house. Farewell.
Oh, help him, you sweet heavens.
If you dost marry, I'll give thee plague for thy dowry. Be thou chaste as ice, pure as snow, thou shalt not escape calumny. Get thee to a nunnery, go, farewell. Or if thou wilt needs marry, marry a fool. For wise men know well enough what monsters you make them. To a nunnery, go, and quickly too, farewell.
Oh, heavenly powers, restore him.
I have heard your paintings too. Well enough. God had given you one face and you make yourself another. You jig, you amble, and you lisp, and you nickname God's creatures, and you make wantonness your ignorance. Go, I'll no more want. It hath made me mad. I say, we will have no more marriages. Those that are married already, all but one, shall live. The rest shall, as they are. To a nunnery, go. Speak the speech, I pray you, as I pronounced it to you, trippingly, on the tongue. But if you mouth it, as many of your players do, I had the leaf, the crown, the town crier spoke my lines. Nor do not sow the air too much with your hands thus, but use it all gently. For in the very torrent, tempest, and as I say, whirlwind of passion, you must acquire and beget a temperance that gives it smoothness. Oh, it offends me to the soul to hear a robustinous, periwigged, pated fellow to tear the passion to tatters, to very rags, to split to the ears of the groundlings, who for the most part are capable of nothing but inexplicable dumb shows and noise. I would have such a fellow whipped for overdoing to mention it. It outherits Herod. Pray you, avoid it.
I warrant your honour.
Not too tame, neither. But let your discretion be your suitor. Suit the word to the action to the word. With this special overstep, do not the modesty of nature. For anything so overdone is from the purpose of playing, whose end, both at the first and now, was and is to hold, as 'twere, the mirror up to nature, to show virtue her true feature, scorn her own image, and the very age and body of the time, his form and pressure. Now, this overdone comes off tardy, and though it make the unskilful laugh, cannot but make the judicious grieve, the censure of which one must in your allowance owe away a whole theatre of others. Oh, there be players that I have seen and heard others praise, and that highly, not to speak it profanely, that neither having accent of Christians, nor the gait of Christians pagan, nor man, have so strutted and bellowed that I have thought some of nature's journeymen had made men and not made them well. They imitated humanity so abominably.
I hope we have reformed that indifferently with us, sir.
Oh, reformed it altogether. And those that play your clowns speak no more than is set down for them. For there be some of them that will themselves laugh, to set on some quantity of barren spectators to laugh too, though in the meantime some necessary question of the play be then be considered. That's villainous, and it shows the most pitiful ambition in the fool that uses it. Go, you, make ready. How now, my lord? I will the king hear this piece of work?
And the queen too, and that presently.
Bid the players make haste. Will you two help to hasten them?
We will, my lord.
What, Her Horatio?
Here, sweet lord, at your service.
Horatio, thou art as e'en a man as e'er my conversation cope withal.
Oh, my dear lord.
Nay, do not think I flatter. For what advancement may I hope from thee that has no revenue but thy good spirits to feed and clothe thee? Why should the poor be flattered? No, let the candied tongue lick absurd pomp, and the crook at the pregnant hinges of the knee where thrift may follow fawning. Do you hear? Since my dear soul was mistress of her choice and could of men distinguish her election, hath sealed thee for herself, for thou hast been as one in suffering all that suffers nothing. A man that fortune buffets and rewards has taken with equal thanks, and blessed are those whose judgment are so well commingled. They are not a pipe for fortune's finger to sound and stop what she please. Give me that man that is not passion's slave, and I will wear him in my heart's core, aye, in my heart of hearts, as I do thee. Something too much of this. There is a play tonight before the king. One scene of it comes near the circumstance which I have told thee of my father's death. I prithee, when thou seest the act afoot, even with the very comment of thy soul, observe mine uncle. If his occulted guilt do not itself unkennel in one speech, it is a damned ghost that we have seen. And my imaginations are as foul as Vulcan's. Skithy. Give him heedful note, for mine eyes will rivet to his face, and after we will both our judgments join in censure of his seeming.
Well, my lord, if he still ought, the whilst this play is playing and scape detecting, I will pay the theft.
They come into the play. I must be idle. Get you to your place.
How fares our cousin Hamlet?
Excellent. In faith, of the chameleon's dish I eat the air. Promise crammed, you cannot feed capons so.
I have nothing with this answer, Hamlet. These words are not mine.
No, nor mine, no. My lord, you played once in the university, you say?
That did I, my lord, and was accounted a good actor.
What did you enact?
I did enact Julius Caesar. I was killed in the Capitol. Brutus killed me.
Was a brute part of him to kill so capital a calf there. Be the players ready?
Aye, my lord, they stay upon your patience.
Come hither, my dear Hamlet. Sit by me.
No, good mother, here's metal more attractive.
Oh ho, did you mark that?
Lady, shall I lie in your lap?
Oh, my lord.
I mean my head upon your lap?
Why, my lord?
Do you think I meant country matters? Well, that's a fair thought between a maid's legs.
What is, my lord?
Nothing.
You are merry, my lord.
Who, I? Oh, God. You're only jig maker. What should a man do but be merry? But look you, how cheerfully my mother looks, and my father died within these 2 hours.
Nay, 'tis twice.
So long. Nay, then. I'll let the devil wear black, for I'll have a suit of sables. Oh, heavens. Died 2 months ago and not forgotten yet. Then there's hope. A great man's memory may outlive half a year. But by your lady, he must build churches then, or by else he shall not suffer thinking on. With the hobby horse, whose epitaph is for the hobby horse is forgot.
What makes...
Mary, this is miking Malico. It means mischief.
So imports the argument of the play.
We shall know by this fellow. The players cannot keep counsel. They'll tell all.
Will he tell us what this show meant?
Aye, or any show that you'll show him. Be not you ashamed to show. He'll not shame you to tell you what it means.
You are not. You are not. I'll mark the play.
For us and for our tragedy, here stooping to your clemency, we beg your hearing patiently.
Is a prologue or the posy of a ring?
'Tis brief, my lord.
As woman's love.
Full 30 times hath Phoebus' cart gone round Neptune's salt wash and Tellus' orbed ground, and 30 dozen moons with borrowed sheen about the world have times 1230s been. Since love our hearts and Hymen did our hands unite commutual in most sacred bands.
Though many journeys may the sun and moon make us again count o'er ere love be done. But woe is me, you are so sick of late, so far from cheer and from your former state, that I distrust you. Yet though I discomfort you, my lord, it nothing must, for women's fear and love holds quantity in neither aught or in extremity. Now what my love is, proof hath made you know, and as my love is sized, my fear is so. Where love is great, the littlest doubts of fear. Where little fears grow great, great love grows there.
Faith, I must leave thee, love, and shortly too. My operant powers their functions leave to do. Thou shalt live in this fair world behind, honoured, beloved, and haply one as kind for husband.
Oh, confound the rest! Such love must needs be treason in thy breast. In second husband, let me be accursed. None wed the second, but who killed the first?
Wormwood, wormwood. The instances that second marriage move are base respects of thrift, but none of love. A second time I kill my husband dead when second husband kisses me in bed.
I do believe you think what now you speak, but what we do determine oft we break. Purpose is but the slave to memory, of violent birth but poor validity, which now, like fruits unripe, sticks on the tree, but fall unshaken when they mellow be. Most necessary 'tis that we forget to pay ourselves what to ourselves is debt, what to ourselves in passion we propose. The passion ending doth the purpose lose. The violence of either grief or joy their own inactions with themselves destroy. Where joy most revels, grief doth most lament. Grief joys, joy grieves, on slender accident. This world is not for aye, nor 'tis not strange that even our loves should even with our fortunes change. For 'tis a question left us yet to prove, whether love lead fortune or else fortune love. The great man down, you mark his favourite flies, the poor advanced make friends of enemies. And hitherto doth love on fortune tend, for who not needs shall never lack a friend. And who in want a hollow friend doth try, directly seasons him his enemy. But orderly to wed I begun, our wills and fates do so contrary run, that our devices still are overthrown. Our thoughts are ours, their ends none of our own. So think thou wilt no second husband wed, but die thy thoughts when thy first lord is dead.
Earth to me give food, nor heaven light, sport and repose lock from me day and night. To desperation turn my trust and hope, and anchors cheer and prison be my scope. Each opposite that blanks the face of joy meet what I would have, then will it destroy. Both here and hence pursue me lasting strife, if once a widow ever I be wife.
If she should break it now.
Sleep warm, sweet, leave me here a while. My spirits grow dull, and fain I would beguile the tedious day with sleep.
Sleep rock thy brain, and never come mischance between us twain.
Madam, how do you like this play?
The lady doth protest too much, methinks.
Oh, but she'll keep her word.
Have you heard the argument? Is there no offence in't?
No, but they do but jest. Poison and jest. No offence in the world.
What do you call the play?
The Mousetrap. Mary, how? Tropically, this play is the image of a murder done in Vienna. Gonzago is the Duke's name. His wife, Baptista, you shall see anon. 'Tis a knavish piece of work, but what of that? Your Majesty will have what free souls it touches us not. Let the galled jade wince, our withers are unwrung. This one is Lucianus, nephew to the king.
You are as good as a chorus, my lord.
No, I could interpret between you and your love, if I could see the puppets dallying.
You are keen, my lord, you are keen.
It would cost you groaning to take my edge off.
Still better and worse.
So you must take your husbands. Begin, murderer, pox! Leave thy damnable faces and begin. Come. The croaking raven doth bellow for revenge.
Thoughts black, hands apt, drugs fit and time agreeing. Confederate season, else no creature seeing. Thou mixture rank of midnight weeds collected, with Hecate's band thrice blasted, thrice infected. The natural magic and dire property on wholesome life usurp immediately.
Poisons him in the garden's face estate.
His name's Gonzago. The story is excellent and writ in choice Italian. You shall see anon how the murderer gets the love of Gonzago's wife.
King rises.
What? Frighted with a false fire?
How fares, my lord?
Give o'er the play.
Give me some light. Away, away. Lights, lights, lights.
Why let the stricken deer go weep? The heart ungalled play. For some must watch, while some must sleep, and so the world runs away. Would not this, sir, and a forest of feathers, if the rest of my fortunes turn Turk on me with 2 provincial roses and my race shoes, get me a fellowship in a cry place. Sir.
Half a share.
A whole one. Aye. For thou dost know, oh, Damon dear, this realm dismantled was of Jove himself, and now reigns here the very, very Pagic.
You might have rhymed.
Oh, good Horatio, I'll take the ghost's word for £1,000. Didst perceive?
Very well, my lord.
Upon the talk of the poisoning.
I did very well note him.
Come, some music. Come, the recorders. For if the king like not the comedy, why then belike he likes it not. Purdy, come, some music.
Good my lord, vouchsafe me a word with you.
Sir, a whole history.
The king, sir,
Aye, what of him?
is in his retirement marvellous distempered.
With drink, sir?
No, my lord, rather with choler.
Your wisdom should show itself more richer to signify this to his doctor. For me to put him in his purgation would perhaps plunge him into far more choler.
Good my lord, put your discourse into some frame, and start not so wildly from my affair.
I am tame, sir. Pronounce.
The queen, your mother, in most great affliction of spirit, hath sent me to you.
You're welcome.
Nay, my lord, this courtesy is not of the right breed. If it shall please you to make me a wholesome answer, I will do your mother's commandment. If not, your pardon and my return shall be the end of my business.
Sir, I cannot.
What, my lord?
Make you a wholesome answer. My wit's diseased, but, sir, such an answer as I can make, you shall command. Or rather, as you say, my mother, therefore, no more. But to the matter, my mother, you say.
Then thus she says, your behaviour hath struck her into amazement and admiration.
Oh, wonderful son that can so astonish a mother. But there is no sequel at the heels of this mother's admiration? In part?
She desires to speak with you in her closet ere you go to bed.
We shall obey, were she 10 times our mother. Have you any further trade with us?
My lord, you once did love me.
So I do still, by these pickets and steals.
Good my lord, what is your cause of distemper? You do surely bar the door upon your own liberty if you deny your griefs to your friend.
Sir, I like advancement.
How can that be, when you have the voice of the king himself for your succession in Denmark?
Aye, but sir, while the grass grows, the proverb is something musty. Oh, the recorders! Let me see one to withdraw with you. Why do you not go about to record at the wind of me, as if you were to drive me into a toil?
Oh, my lord, if my duty be too bold, my love is too unmannerly.
Oh, I do not well understand that. Will you play upon this pipe?
My lord, I cannot.
I pray you.
Believe me, I cannot.
I do beseech you.
I know no touch of it, my lord.
'Tis as easy as lying. Govern these vantages with your fingers and thumb, and give it breath with your mouth, and it will discourse the most eloquent music. Look you, here are the stops.
But these cannot I command to any utterance of harmony. I have not the skill.
Why, look you now, how unworthy a thing you make of me. You will play upon me, you would seem to know my stops, you would pluck out the heart of my mystery, you would sound me from my lowest note to the top of my compass. And there is much music, excellent voice in this organ. You cannot make it speak. Splud, do you think I am easier to be played than a pipe? Call me what instrument you will, though you cannot fret me. You cannot play upon me. God bless you, sir.
My lord, the Queen will speak with you, and presently.
Do you see yonder cloud that's almost in the shape of a camel?
By the mass, and 'tis like a camel indeed.
Methinks it's like a weasel.
It is backed like a weasel.
Or like a whale?
Very like a whale.
Then I will come to my mother by and by. They fool me to the top of my bent. I will come by and by.
And I will say so.
By and by is easily said. Leave me, friends. And now is the very witching time of night, when churchyards yawn and hell itself breathes out contagion into this world. Now could I drink hot blood and do such bitter business as the day would quake to look on. Soft. Now to my mother. Heart, lose not thy nature. Let not ever the soul of Nero enter this firm bosom. Let me be cruel, not unnatural. I will speak daggers to her, but use none. My soul and tongue in this be hypocrites. How in my words soever she be shed, to give them seals never, my soul, consent.
My offence is rank, it smells to heaven. It hath the primal eldest curse upon't. A brother's murder. Pray can I not, though inclination be as sharp as will. My stronger guilt defeats my strong intent, and like a man to double business bound, I stand in pause where I shall first begin, and both neglect. What if this cursed hand were thicker than itself with brother's blood? Is there not rain enough in the sweet heavens to wash it white as snow? Whereto serves mercy, but to confront the visage of offence? What's in prayer but this twofold force, to be forestalled ere we come to fall, or pardoned being down? Then I'll look up. My fault is past. But oh, what form of prayer can serve my turn? Forgive me my foul murder? That cannot be, since I am still possessed of those effects for which I did the murder. My crown, mine own ambition, and my queen. May one be pardoned and retain the offence? In the corrupted currents of this world, offence's gilded hand may shove by justice, and oft 'tis seen the wicked prize itself buys out the law. But 'tis not so above. There is no shuffling. There the action lies in his true nature, and we ourselves, so compelled even to the teeth and forehead of our guilts to give in evidence. What then? What rests? Try what repentance can? When it can it not? Yet when can it, when one cannot repent? Oh, wretched state, oh, bosom black as death, oh, limed soul that's struggling to be free, art more engaged. Help, angels. Make essay. Bow stubborn knees, and heart with strings of steel be soft as sinews of the newborn babe.
Now I might do it, Pat. Now he's praying. And now I'll do it. And so he goes to heaven. And so I am revenged. That will be scanned. A villain kills my father, and for that I, his sole son, do this same villain sent to heaven. Oh, this is hire and salary, not revenge. He looks my father grossly full of bread, with all his crimes broad blown as flush as May. And how his audit stands, who knows save heaven? But in our circumstance and course of thought is heavy with him, and I am revenged to take in the purging of his soul, when he is fit for and season for his passage. No. Up, sword, and now thou a more horrid hent when he is drunk asleep, or in a rage, or in the incestuous pleasure of his bed, at gaming, swearing, or in some act that hath no relish or salvation in it. Then trip him, that his heels may kick at heaven, that his soul may be as damned and black as hell, whereto it goes. My mother stays. This psychic but prolongs thy sickly days.
My words fly up. My thoughts to heaven go. But thoughts without words may never to heaven go.
Mother! Mother!
He will come straight. Look you lay home to him. Tell him his pranks have been too broad to bear with, and that your grace hath screened and stood between much heat and him. I will sconce me even here. Pray you, be round with him.
I warrant you, fear me not. Withdraw. I hear him coming.
How now, mother? What's the matter?
Hamlet, thou hast thy father much offended.
Mother, you have my father much offended.
Oh, come. You answer with an idle tongue.
Go, you question with a wicked tongue.
Why, how now, Hamlet?
What's the matter now?
Have you forgot me?
No. Why rude, not so. You are the queen, your husband's brother's wife, and would it were not so, you are my mother.
Well, nay then, I'll set those to you that can speak.
Come, and sit you down. You shall not budge. Not to go till I set you up a glass where you may the most inmost part of you.
What wilt thou do? Thou wilt not murder me. Oh, help, ho!
Help, ho! What ho, help! Help!
Oh, a rat! Dead for a ducat dead!
I am slain!
Oh, me! What hast thou done?
Nay, I know not. Is it the king?
Polonius! Oh, what a rash and bloody deed is this!
A bloody deed. Almost as bad, good mother, as kill a king. And marry with his brother!
As kill a king?
Aye, lady, 'twas my word. Thou wretched, rash, intruding fool, farewell. I took thee for thy better. Take thy fortune. Thou findest to be too busy in some danger. Leave ringing in your hands. Peace! Sit you down! Let me wring your heart, for so I shall. It be made of penetrable stuff. If damned custom had not brushed it so that it is proof and bulwark against sense.
What have I done, that thou darest wag thy tongue in noise so rude against me?
Such an act that blurs the grace and blush of modesty, calls virtue hypocrite, takes off the rose from the fair forehead of an innocent love and sets a blister there, makes marriage vows as false as dice oaths. Oh, such a deed as from the body of contraction plucks the very soul, and sweet religion makes a rhapsody of words. Heaven's face doth glow, yea, this solidity and compound mass with tristful visage as against the doom is thought sick at the act.
Ay me! What act that roars so loud and thunders in the index?
Look here, upon this picture, and on this counterfeit presentment of two brothers. See what a grace was seated on this brow. Hyperion's curl the front of Jove himself, and I, like Mars, to threaten and command, a station like that herald Mercury new lighted on a heaven-kissing hill, where every god did seem to set his seal, to give the world assurance of a man. This was your husband. Look you now. What follows here is your husband, like a mildewed ear, blasting his wholesome brother. Have you eyes? Could you not on this fair mountain leave to feed and batten on this moor? Have you eyes? You cannot call it love. For at your age, the heyday of the blood is tame. It's humble and waits upon the judgment. And what judgment would step from this to this? Sense, sure you have, else could you not have motion, but sure that sense is apoplexed, for madness would not err. Nor sense to ecstasy was ne'er so thralled, but it reserved some quantity of choice to serve in such a difference. What devil was that had cozened you at Hoodman's blind? Eyes without feeling, feeling without sight, ears without hands or eyes, smelling sans all, or but a sickly part of one true sense could no more mope. Shame, where is thy blush? Rebellious hell, if thou canst mutine in a matron's bones to flaming youth, let virtue be wax and melt in her own fire. Proclaim no shame when the compulsive ardor gives a charge, since frost itself actively doth burn and reason, Panda's will.
Oh, Hamlet, speak no more. Thou turnst mine eyes into my very soul, and there I see such black and grained spots as will not leave their taint.
Nay, but to live in the rank sweat of an enseamed bed, stewed in corruption, honeying and making love over the nasty sty.
Oh, speak to me no more. These words like daggers enter in mine ears. No more, sweet Hamlet.
A murderer and a villain, a slave that is not 20th part the tithe of your president lord, a vice of kings, a cut purse of the empire and the rule, that from the precious self of diadem stole and put it in his pocket.
Oh, no more!
A king of shreds and patches. Save me. Oh, heavens. Oh, guard me with your wings, you heavenly gods. What would your gracious figure?
Alas, he's mad.
Do not calm your tiny son to chide that lapsed time and passion. Let's go by the important acting of your dread command. Oh, say.
Do not forget, this visitation is but to whet thy almost blunted purpose. But look, amazement on thy mother sits. Oh, step between her and her fighting soul. Conceit in weakest body, strongest works. Speak to her, Hamlet.
How is it with you, lady?
Alas, how is't with you, that you do bend your eye on vacancy, and with the incorporeal air do hold discourse? Forth at your eyes your spirits wildly peep, and as the sleeping soldiers in the alarm, your bedded hair, like life in excrement, starts up and stands on end. Oh, gentle son, upon the heat and flame of thy distemper, sprinkle cool patience. Whereon do you look?
Him. Look you how pale he glares, his form and cause conjoined, preaching to stones would make them capable. Do not look upon me, lest with this piteous action you convert my stern effects. Then what I have to do will want true colour, but tears perchance for blood.
To whom do you speak this?
You see nothing there.
Nothing at all, yet all that is, I see.
No, you did nothing here?
No, nothing but ourselves.
Look you there! Look how it steals away my father! In his habit as he lived! Look where he goes, even now at the portal!
This the very coinage of your brain. This bodiless creation ecstasy is very cunning in.
Ecstasy. My pulse, and yours, doth temperately keep. And as healthful music, it is not madness that I have uttered. Bring me to the test, and the matter will reword which madness tremble from. Mother, for love of grace, lay not that mattering unction to your soul, that not your trespass, but my madness speaks. It will skin and film the ulcerous place, whilst rank corruption, mining all within, infects unseen. Confess yourself to heaven. Repent what's past. Avoid what is to come, and do not spread the compost on the weeds to make them ranker. Forgive me this, my virtue. For in the fatness of these pursy times virtue itself of vice must pardon beg, yea, curb and woo, and leave to do him good.
Oh, Hamlet, thou hast cleft mine heart in twain.
Oh, throw away the worst part of it. And live the purer with our half. Good night. Become not my uncle's bed. Assume a virtue. If you haven't not that monster, custom, who all sense doth eat of habit's devil in angel, yet in this, that to use of actions fair and good, he likewise gives frocks or livery that aptly is put on. Refrain tonight, and that shall lend a kind of easiness to the next abstinence, the next more easy, for use can change the stamp of nature, and either the devil or throw him out with wondrous potency. Once more, good night. When you are so desirous to be blessed, I'll blessing beg of you. For this same Lord, I do repent. The heaven hath pleased it so, to punish me with this and this with me, that I must be their scourge and minister. I will bestow him, and will answer well the death I gave him. So again, good night. I must be cruel, only to be kind. Thus bad begins and the worst remains behind. One more word, good lady.
What shall I do?
Not this. I know written that I did. Let King tempt you again to bed. Once into your cheek. Call you his mouse, and let him, for a pair of reachy kisses, or paddling in your neck with his damned fingers, make you to ravel all this matter out, that I essentially am not in madness, but mad in craft. Good, you let him know who, that's better. Queen, fair, sober, wise, would from a paddock, from a bat, a jib, such dear concernings hide. Who would do so? No. In despite of sense and secrecy, unpeg the basket from his house's top, let the birds fly. And like the famous ape, to try conclusions in the basket creep and break your own neck down.
Be thou assured, if words be made of breath, and breath of life, I have no life to breathe. What thou hast said to me.
I must to England, you know that?
Alack, I had forgot. 'Tis so concluded on.
There's letters sealed, and my two schoolfellows, whom I trust, as I will adders fanged, bear the mandate. They must sweep my way, and marshal me to knavery. Let it work, for it is the sport to have the engineer hoist with his own petard, and it shall go hard, but I will delve 1 yard below their minds and blow them at the moon. Oh, 'tis most sweet. When in one line two crafty directly meet, this man shall set me packing. I'll lug the guts into the neighbor room. Mother, good night. Indeed, this counselor is now most still, most secret, and most grave. For who in life was a foolish, prating knave? Come, sir, to draw toward an end with you. Good night, mother. Safely stowed.
Hamlet! Lord Hamlet!
What noise? Who calls on Hamlet? Oh, here they come.
What have you done, my lord, with the dead body?
Compounded it to dust, where to it is kin.
Tell us where 'tis, that we may take it thence and bear it to the chapel.
Do not believe it.
Leave what?
that I can keep your counsel and not mine own. Besides, to be demanded of a sponge, what replication should be made by the son of a king?
Take you me for a sponge, my lord?
Aye, sir. That soaks up the king's countenance, his rewards, his authorities, but such officers do the king best keep in the end. He keeps them like an ape, in the corner of his jaw, first mouthed, to be last swallowed. When he needs you, what you have gleaned, it is but squeezing you, and sponge you shall be dry again.
I understand you not, my lord.
I'm glad of it. A knavish speech sleeps in a foolish ear.
My lord, you must tell us where the body is and go with us to the king.
The body is with the king, but the king is not with the body. The king is a thing.
A thing, my lord.
Of nothing. Bring me to him. Hide, fox, and after all. Good sir, what powers are these?
They are of Norway, sir.
How purpose, sir, I pray you?
Against some part of Poland.
Who commands them, sir?
The nephew to old Norway, Fortinbras.
Goes it against the main of Poland, sir, or some frontier?
Truly to speak, and with no addition, we go to gain a little patch of ground that hath in it no part but the name. To pay 5 ducats for 5, I would not farm it. Nor will it yield to Norway or the Pole a ranker rate should it be sold in fee.
Why, then the Polack will never defend it.
Yes, it's already garrisoned.
2,000 souls and 20,000 ducats will not debate the question of this straw. This is the impostume of much wealth and peace that inwards breaks and shows no cause without. Why the man dies. I humbly thank you, sir.
God be with you, sir.
Will please you go, my lord.
I'll be with you straight. Go a little before. How all occasions do inform against me and spur my dull revenge. What is a man in his chief good and market of his time but be to sleep and feed a beast, no more? Sure, that he's made with such large discourse, looking before and after, gave us not that capability and godlike reason to fuss us unused. Now, whether it be bestial oblivion or some craven scruple of thinking too precisely on the event, a thought which, quartered, hath but 1 part wisdom and 3 parts coward. I do not know why I live to say this thing's to do, sith I have cause and will and strength and means to do it. Examples gross as earth exhort me. Witness this army of such mass and charge, led by a delicate and tender prince whose ambitions and spirit, puffed, makes mouths at the invisible event, exposing what fortune and unsure to all fortune, death and danger dare, even for an eggshell. Rightly to be great is not to stir without great argument, but greatly to find quarrel in a straw when honor's at stake. How stand I then, that have a father killed, a mother stained, and excitements of my reason and my blood, and let all sleep? To my shame, I see the imminent death of 20,000 men that for a fantasy and trick of fame go to their graves like beds, fight for a plot whereon the numbers cannot try the cause, which is not the tomb enough or continent to hide the slain. From this time forth, my thoughts be bloody or be nothing worth.
In youth, when I did love, methought it was very sweet to contract the time for my behoved. Oh, methought there was nothing need.
Has this fellow no feeling of his business that he sings at grave making?
Custom hath made it in him a property of easiness.
'Tis e'en so. The hand of little employment hath the daintiest sense.
But age with his stealing ship hath clawed me in his clutch, and it's chipped me into the land as if I had never been such.
That skull has a tongue in it. I could sing once. How the knave jowls it to the ground as if it were Cain's jawbone that did the first murder. Might be the pate of a politician, which this ass now reaches. One that would circumvent God, might it not?
It might, my lord.
Or of a courtier, which would say, Good morrow, sweet lord, how dost thou, good lord? This might be my lord such a one, that praised my lord such a one's horse when it meant to beg, might it not?
Aye, my lord.
Why, even so, and now my lady Worms, trapless and mocked about the mazard with a sexton spade, here's fine revolution, and we had the trick to see it. Did these bones cost no more the breeding but to play at loggers with them? I'd hate to think on it.
A pickaxe and a spade for Anders shrouding sheets. Oh, a pit of clay for to be made for such a guest is meet.
There's another. Why, that may not be the skull of a lawyer? Where be his quiddities now? His quillets, his cases, his tenures and his tricks. Why does he suffer this rude knave to knock him about the sconce with a dirty shovel and will not tell him of his action of battery? This fellow might be in times a great buyer of land with his statutes, his recognizances, his fines, his double vouchers, his recoveries. Is this the fine of his fines and the recovery of his recoveries to have his fine pate full of dirt? Will his vouchers vouch him no more to his purchases? Double ones too, then the length and breadth of a pair of indentures? The very conveyances of his land will hardly live in this box. And must the inheritor himself have no more, huh?
Not a jot more, my lord.
Is not parchment made of sheepskins?
Aye, my lord, and of calfskins, too.
And there are sheep and calves which seek out assurance in that. I will speak to this fellow. Whose grave's this, sirrah?
Mine, sir. Oh, a pit of clay for to be made for such a guest is meet.
Well, I think it be thine, indeed, for thou liest in it.
Oh, you lie out on it, sir, and therefore it is not yours. For my part, I do not lie in it, and yet it is mine.
Thou dost lie in it, and to be in't to say it is thine, 'tis for the dead, not for the quick. Therefore thou liest.
'Tis a quick lie, sir. Will away again from me to you.
What man dost thou dig for?
For no man, sir.
For what woman then?
For none neither.
Who is to be buried in it?
One that was a woman, sir. But rest her soul, she's dead.
How absolute the knave is. We must speak by the card, or equivocation will undo us. By the Lord, Horatio, these 3 years I have taken a note of it. The age is grown so picked that the toe of the peasant comes so near the heel of the courtier, he gaffs his kibe. How long hast thou been a grave maker?
Of all the days in the year, I came to it that day that our last king, Hamlet, overcame Fortinbras.
How long is that since?
Cannot you tell that? Every fool can tell that. It was the very day that young Hamlet was born. He that is mad and sent to England.
Aye, marry. And why was he sent into England?
Why? Because he was mad. He shall recover his wits there, or if he do not, it's no great matter there.
Why?
Well, they'll not be seen in him there. There the men are as mad as he.
How came he mad?
Very strangely, they say.
How strangely?
Faith in with losing his wits.
Upon what ground?
Why, here in Denmark, I have been sexton here, man and boy, 30 years.
How long will a man lie in the earth before he rot?
If he be not rotten before he die, as we have many pocky corpses nowadays, that will scarce hold the laying in. He will last you some 8 years or 9 years. Tanner will last you 9.
Why he more than another?
Why, sir, his hide is so tanned with his trade that he will keep the water out a great while. And your water is a sore decayer of your horse undead body. Here's a skull now. This skull has lain in the earth 23 years.
Who was it?
Horse and mad fellows it was. Who do you think it was?
I know not.
A pestilence on him for a mad rogue. I poured a flagon of radish on my head once. This same skull was Yorick's skull, King's tester.
This?
Ain't that?
Let me see that. Alas, poor Yorick. I knew him, Horatio. Fellow with infinite jest. A man of most excellent fancy. He hath borne me on his back 1,000 times. And now, how abhorred is my imagination. My gorge rims at it. He hung those lips I have kissed, I know not how oft. Where be your jibes now? Your gamble, your songs, your flashes of merriment that want to set the table on a roar? Not one now. To mock your own grinning, quite fallen chap? No. Get you to my lady's chamber and tell her, let her paint an inch thick to this favour she must come. Make her laugh at that. Prithee, Horatio, tell me one thing.
What's that, my lord?
Dost thou think Alexander looked of this fashion in the earth?
Even so.
And smelt so?
Even so, my lord.
What base uses we may return, Horatio? Why may not imagination trace the noble dust of Alexander? Till he find it stopping a bunghole?
'Twere to consider too curiously to consider so.
No, faith, not a jot. But to follow him thither with modesty enough and likelihood as it lead is thus. Alexander died. Alexander was buried. Alexander returneth to dust. The dust is earth. Of earth we make loam. And why of that loam whereto was converted, might they not stop a beer barrel? The imperious Caesar dead and turned to clay might stop a hole to keep the wind away. Oh, that earth which kept the world in awe should but patch a wall to expel the winter flaw. But soft, aside. Here comes the king. The queen, the court is who is this they follow? With such maimed rites this doth betoken the course they follow with desperate hand, for due its own life 'twas of some estate. Couch a while and mark.
Ceremony else.
That is Laertes, it's very noble youth, mark.
What ceremony else?
Her obsequies have been as far enlarged as we have warranties. Her death was doubtful, but that great command obeys the order. She should in ground unsanctified have lodged till the last trumpet. For charitable prayers, shards, flints, and pebbles should be thrown on her. Yet here she is allowed her virgin crowns, her maiden struments, and the bringing home of bell and burial.
Must there no more be done?
No more be done. We should profane the service of the dead to sing a requiem, and such rest to her as to peace parted souls.
Lay her in the earth, and from her fair and unpolluted flesh may violets spring. I tell thee, churlish priest, a ministering angel shall my sister be when thou liest howling.
The fair Ophelia!
Sweets to the sweet, farewell. I hoped thou shouldst have been my Hamlet's wife. I thought thy bride bed to have decked, sweet maid, and not have strewed thy grave.
Ugh, treble woe. Full 10 times treble on that cursed head, whose wicked deed thy most ingenious sense deprived thee of. But held off the other while, till I have caught her in mine arms. Now pile your dust upon the quick and dead, till this flat a mountain you have made, to overtop old Pelion, or the sky's head of blue Olympus.
What is he whose grief bears such an emphasis? Whose face of sorrow conscious wandering stars and makes them stand like wonder how wounded hearers. This is I, Hamlet the Dane.
The devil take thy soul!
Thou prayest not well. I prithee take thy fingers from my throat. Though I am not splendid and rash, yet I have something in me dangerous, which let thy witnesses fear. Hold off thy hand!
Put them asunder!
Hamlet! Hamlet!
Gentlemen.
Good my lord, be quiet.
Why, I will fight with him upon the seam until my eyelids will no longer wag.
Oh, my son, what theme?
I loved Ophelia. 40,000 brothers could not, with all the quantity of love, make up my sum. What wilt thou do for her?
He is mad, Laertes.
Oh, for love of God, forbear him.
Swounds, show me what thou do, would weep, would fight, would fast, would tear thyself, would drink up else, eat a crocodile, I'll do it. Dost thou come here to whine? Outface me with leaping in her grave, be buried quick with her, and so will I. And if prate of mountains, let them throw millions of acres on us, till our ground, singeing his plate against the burning zone, make us like a wart. And thou, mouth, I'll rant as well as thou.
This is mere madness, and thus a while the fit will work on him. Anon, as patient as the female dove when that her golden couplets are disclosed, his silence will sit drooping.
Sirs, what is the reason that you use me thus? I loved you ever, but it is no matter. Let Hercules himself do what he may. The cat will have his mew, and the dog will have his day.
I pray you, good Horatio, wait upon him.
So much for this, sir. Now shall you see the other. Do you remember all the circumstance?
Remember it, my lord?
Sir, in my heart there was this kind of fighting that would not let me sleep. Methought I lay worse than the Mutines in the bilboes. Rashly in praise be rashness for us. Let us know our discretion sometimes serve us well. Our deep plots do pall, and that should teach us this divinity that shapes our ends. Rough hewn then how we will.
That is most certain.
Upon my cabin, my sea groan scarfed about me in the dark, I groped I to find them out, had my desire fingered to their packet in a fine, withdrew to mine own room again, making so bold my fears forgetting matters to unseal the ground emission where I found Horatio all. Royal knavery, an exact command larded with many several sorts of reason, importing Denmark's health and England's too. With such bugs and goblins in my life that on the supervised no leisure bated. No, not to stay the grinding of the axe. My head should be struck off.
Is it possible?
Oh, here's the commission. Read it. At more leisure wilt thou hear how I did proceed?
I beseech you.
Being thus benetted round with villainies ere I could make a prologue to my brains, they had begun the play. I sat me down, devised a new commission, wrote it fair. I once did hold it, as our statists do, a baseness to write fair and laboured much, to forget that learning, but sir, now did me a yeoman service. Wilt thou know the effect of what I wrote?
Aye, good my lord.
Earnest conjuration from the king, as England was his faithful tributary, as love between them the faith palm might flourish, as peace should stiff her wheaten garland wear, and stand calm between their amenities, and many such ears of great change that, on the view and knowing of these contents, without debatement further or more less, he should the bearers put to sudden death, not striving time allowed.
How was it sealed?
Why, even in that heaven ordinant I had my father's signet in my purse, which was a model of that Danish seal, folded the writ, the form of the other, subscribed it, gave the impression, placed it safely, the changeling never knew. Now the next day was our sea fight, and what to this was sequent thou knowest already.
So Guildenstern and Rosencrest go to it.
What? Man, they did love this employment. They are not near my conscience. Their defeat does by their own insinuation grow. 'Tis dangerous when the baser nature comes between the pass and fell incensed points of mighty opposites.
Why, what a king is this?
Does it not, thinkest thee, stand me now that he hath killed my king and whored my mother, popped in between the election and my hopes, thrown out his angle for my proper life, and with such cozenage, it is not perfect conscience to quit him with his arm, and it is not to be damned to let this canker out of nature come into further evil.
It must be shortly known to him from England what is the issue of the business there.
Will be short. The interim is mine. A man's life is to say one. I am very sorry, Horatio, that to LAERTES I forgot myself. By for the image of my cause I see this portraiture of his. I'll court his favours, but sure the bravery of his grief did put me into a towering passion.
Peace! Who comes here?
Lordship! That's right. Welcome back to Denmark.
Humbly thank you, sir. Dost know this waterfly?
No, my good lord.
Thy state is most gracious. 'Tis a vice to know him. He hath much land and fertile. Let a beast be lord of beasts, and crib shall stand at a king's mess. 'Tis a chow, but I say as spacious as in the possession of dirt.
Sweet lord, if your lordship were at leisure, I should impart a thing to you from his majesty.
I will receive it, sir, with all the diligence of spirit. Put your bonnet to his right use. 'Tis not for the head.
Oh, I thank your lordship. It is very hot.
No, but believe me, it is very cold. The wind is northerly.
It is indifferent cold, my lord, indeed.
Yeah, methinks it is very hot and sultry for my complexion.
Exceedingly, my lord. It is very sultry, as 'twere, I cannot tell how, but, my lord, his majesty bade me to signify to you that he has laid a great wager on your head. So this is the matter.
I beseech you, remember.
Nay, good lord, for mine ease in good faith. Sir, here is newly come to court LAERTES, Believe me, an absolute gentleman, full of most excellent differences, of very soft society and great showing indeed. To speak feelingly of him, he is the card or calendar of gentry, for you shall find in him the continent of what part a gentleman would see.
Sir, his definement suffers no perdition in you, though I know to divide him inventorially would dizzy the arithmetic of memory. And yet, but you're neither in respect of his quick sale. But in verity of extolment, I'll take him to be a soul of great article. Rareness as to make true diction of him, his semblable is his mirror, and who would trace him, his umbrage, nothing more.
Your lordship speaks most infallibly of him.
Your concernancy, sir. Why do we wrap the gentleman in our aurora breath?
Sir?
Is it not possible? Is it not possible to understand in another tongue? You will do it, sir, really.
What imports the nominations of this gentleman?
Of Laertes?
His purse is empty already, all golden words are spent.
Of him, sir.
I know you're not ignorant. It's just...
I would you did, sir, in faith. If you did, it would not much approve me. Well, sir?
You're not ignorant of what excellence Laertes is.
I dare not confess that, lest I should compare with him in excellence, but to know a man well would know himself.
I mean, sir, for his weapon, but in the imputation laid on by them in his meed, he's unfellowed.
What's his weapon?
Rapier and dagger.
Oh, that's two of his weapons. But, well...
The king, sir, hath wagered with him 6 Barbary horses against the which he has imponed, as I take it 6 French rapiers and poignards, with their assigns as girdles, hangers, and so 3 of the carriages, in faith, are very dear to fancy, very responsive to the hilts, most delicate carriages, and of very liberal conceit.
What call you the carriages?
I knew you must be edified by the margin ere you had done.
The carriages, sir, are the hangers.
The phrase would be more German to the matter if we could carry cannons by our side. I would it might be hangers till then. But on 6 Barbary horses against 6 French swords, their ensigns, and 3 liberal conceited carriages. That's the French bet against the Danish. Why is this imponed, as you call it?
The king, sir, hath laid that a dozen passes between yourself and him. He shall not exceed you 3 hits. He hath laid on 12 for 9, and it would come to immediate trial if your lordship would vouchsafe the answer.
Well, if I answer no.
I mean, my lord, the opposition of your person in trial.
Sir, I will walk here in the hall, if it please his majesty. 'Tis a breathing time of day with me. Let the foils be brought. The gentleman willing, and the king holds his purpose, I will win for him, and I can. If not, I will gain nothing but my shame and the odd hits.
Shall I redeliver you Ian, sir?
To this effect, sir, after what flourish your nature will.
I commend my duty to your lordship.
Yours. He does well to commend it himself. There are no tongues else for him.
This lapwing runs away with the shit on its head.
He did comply with his dug before he sucked it. Has he, and many more of the same bevy that I know the dressy age dotes on, only got the tune of the time and the outward habit of encounter, a kind of yesty collection which carries them through and through the most fond and winnowed opinions, and do but blow them to their trial. The bubbles are out.
My lord, his majesty commended him to you by young Laertes, who brings back to him that you attend him in the hall. He sends to know if your pleasure hold to play with Laertes, or that you will take longer time.
I am constant in my purpose. They follow the king's pleasure. If his fitness speaks, mine is ready, now or whensoever, provided I be so able as now.
The king and queen and all are coming down.
In happy time.
The queen desires you to use some gentle entertainment to Laertes before you fall to play.
She instructs me well.
You will lose this wager, my lord.
I do not think so. Since he went into France, I've been in continual practice. I shall win at the odds, but thou wouldst not think how ill all's here about my heart. But 'tis no matter.
Nay, good my lord.
It is but foolery, but is such a kind of gain-giving as would perhaps trouble a woman.
If your mind is like anything, obey it. I will forestall their repair hither, and say you are not fit.
Not a whit. We defy augury. There's a special providence in the fall of a sparrow. If it be now, 'tis not to come. If it is not to come, it will be now. If it be not now, yet it will come. The readiness is all, since no man has aught of what he leaves. What is to leave betimes?
Come, Hamlet, come, and take this hand from me.
Give me your pardon, sir. I have done you wrong, but pardon, as you were a gentleman. This presence knows, and you must needs have heard how I am punished with sore distraction. What I have done that my pure nature, honor, and exception roughly awake, I proclaim was madness. Wast Hamlet wronged, Laertes? Never Hamlet. If Hamlet from himself be taken away, and when he's not himself does wrong Laertes, then Hamlet does not. Hamlet denies it. So who does it then? Is madness, if it be so. Hamlet is of a fraction of that is wronged. His madness is poor Hamlet's enemy. Sir, in this audience, let my disclaiming from a purpose to evil free me so far from your most generous thoughts that I have shot mine arrow over the house and hurt my brother.
I am satisfied in nature, whose motive in this case should stir me most to my revenge. But in my terms of honour, I stand aloof, and will no recoilment till by some elder masters of known honour I have a voice of precedent and a peace to keep my name on guard. But till that time, I do receive your offered love like love, and will not wrong it.
I embrace it freely, and we'll play this brother's wager frankly. Give us the foils, come on.
Come, one for me.
I'll be your foil, Laertes, in mine ignorance. Your skill shall, like a star in the darkest night, stick off fiery off indeed.
You mock me, sir.
No, by this hand.
Give him the foils, young Osric. Cousin Hamlet, you know the wager?
Very well, my lord. Your faith hath laid the odds on the weaker side.
I do not fear it. I have seen you both, but since he is bettered, we have therefore odds.
This is too heavy. Let me see another.
He likes me well. All the foils have a length.
Oh, good lord.
Set me the stoops of wine upon the table. If Hamlet give the first or second hit, or quit in answer of the third exchange, let all the battlements their ordnance fire. The king shall drink to Hamlet's better health, and in the cup at the union shall he throw richer than that which 4 successive kings in Denmark's crown have worn. Give me the cups, and let the kettle and the trumpet speak. The trumpet to the cannoneer without, the cannons to the heavens to the earth. Now the king dunks to Hamlet. Come, begin, and you, the judges, bear a wary eye.
Come on, sir!
Come, my lord.
Oh. 1.
No.
Judgment.
A very palpable.
Well, again.
Stay. Give me drink, Hamlet. This pearl is thine. Here's to thy health. Give him the cup.
I'll play this first bout. Said in a while. Come. Another hit. What say you?
Oh, a touch, I do confess.
Our son shall win.
He's fat and scant of breath. Here, Hamlet, take my napkin, rub thy brows. The queen carouses to thy fortune, Hamlet.
I dare not drink yet, madam, by and by.
Gertrude, do not drink.
Oh, I will, my lord. I pray you, pardon me.
I dare not drink yet, madam, by and by, yes. Come for a third, Laertes, but you dally, I pray you. Pass with your best violence. I am afeard. You make a wanton of me.
Say so. Come on.
Nothing neither way.
How about you now?
Part them. They are incensed.
Hey, come again.
Look, to the queen there, ho!
They bleed on both sides. How is it, my lord?
How is the Laertes?
Oh, as a woodcock to mine own spring also, I'm justly killed with my treachery.
How does the queen?
She swoons to see them bleed.
No, the drink. The drink. Oh, my dear Hamlet, the drink. The drink. I am poisoned.
Oh, villainy! Oh, let the door be locked! Treachery, seek it out!
That is here, Hamlet. Oh, Hamlet. Oh, thou art slain. No medicine in the world can do thee good. In thee there is not half an hour of life left. The treacherous instrument is in thy hand, unbaited and envenomed. The foul practice hath turned itself on me. Oh, lo, here I lie, never to rise again. Thy mother's poisoned. I can do no more. The king is to blame.
What? Envenom too, then venom to thy work!
Treason!
Oh, yet defend me, friends. I am but hurt.
Here, thou incestuous, murderous, damned Dane, drink of this poison. Is thy union there? Follow my mother.
He is justly served. It is a poison tempered by himself. Oh, exchange forgiveness with me, noble Hamlet. Mine and my father's death come not upon thee, nor thine upon thee.
Heaven make me free of it. I'll follow thee. I am dead, Horatio. Wretched queen, adieu. You look pale and tremble at this chance. That thou mutes our audience to this act, had I but time to spell Sergeant Death in his strict arrest. Oh, I could tell you. But let it be, Horatio, I am dead. Thou livest, and report me and my cause aright to the unsatisfied.
Never believe it. I'm more an antique Roman than a Dane. He's yet some liquor left.
As thou art a man, give me the cup. Let go. By heaven, I'll have it. Oh, good Horatio. What a wounded name. Things standing thus unknown shall live behind me. If thou didst ever hold me in thy heart, absent thee from felicity a while, in this harsh world draw thy breath in pain to tell my story. What warlike noise is this?
The England! To the ambassadors of England, give this warlike folly!
I die, Horatio. The potent poison quite overcrowds my spirit. I cannot live to hear the news from England. But I do prophesy by the election lights on Fortinbras. He has my dying voice, so tell him, with the occurrence more and less which have solicited, and the rest is silence.
Now cracks a noble heart. Good night, sweet prince, and flights of angels sing thee to thy rest.
Okay, everybody, thank you so much. And thank you, audience, for being here for this wonderful thing. Can we please welcome onto the stage our technical crew, Tom Burt and Charlotte Wiltshire, and our stage manager, the management of the stage, Chris Starnawski, our designers, Alice Chu on visuals, and David Castle on the videos. Thank you very much to them. And on marketing, Chiara Osborn, and also, of course, Camille Tovey, who does so much for this company. Thank you so much. On backup today was our very own artistic director, Holly Champion. Thank you, and well done, everybody, for not needing any backup from Holly. Darlings, next Sunday is 12th night, or what you will. We will see you there. Thank you for being here. We love you, audience. Take care of each other. Take care of yourselves. Live and love. Bye-bye.